Just 2 days ago, we got the multiplayer gameplay reveal for Modern Warfare, and at least most people, I believe, were really excited and really liked what they saw. They loved seeing new graphics, they liked seeing the new engine, they liked just seeing so many new things, so many new guns, or I guess not new guns, but so many guns in just our very first look at the game. There was just so much to like about what we saw. But at the same time, there were a lot of people who were cautious about what they saw and also just plain out disliked what they saw. And I want to talk about these because there's a couple complaints that I've been hearing around, but I think there's three more than any other complaint that I've heard personally. Maybe you guys have heard other ones that I'm going to be leaving out, but these are the three that I mainly heard. And the first one I want to address is actually Modern Warfare just looks like Battlefield or Rainbow Six Siege, and that is something I feel is an unfair criticism of the game, because it's not like Call of Duty is just trying to look like the other games. I mean, all that happened was Call of Duty updated their graphics from 2012 to 2019. I mean, just because Battlefield and Rainbow Six Siege look somewhat like this, it doesn't mean Call of Duty copied them. It just means that Call of Duty caught up with their graphics level. It's not like they copied them. That's just how games look in 2019. Just because Call of Duty doesn't look like a game from 2012 anymore does not mean they're copying all the other competition. That's just not what's going on here, because just think about it like this. All these games are going for a somewhat realism first-person shooters, so it has to look like real life. So they all go for the same thing, trying to look like real life, and they also have the best graphics they can. What are you going to get? Probably very similar graphics, and that's just what happened. And that's why I personally just kind of don't get what exactly the complaint is, because how many times have everyone, including me, asked for better graphics in Call of Duty games? It just has been something we've asked for so many years, because we've been playing with 2012 graphics for the longest time, and finally we get some graphics, some graphical upgrades, and then some people are complaining now about it that it looks like any other game on the market, when that's exactly what everyone was saying. Have you seen all the other games on the market? Have you seen Battlefield? The game looks amazing. Call of Duty looks like 2012. And now that they catch up with Battlefield's graphics, everyone says it just looks like Battlefield, and that's why I feel like it's a pretty unfair, I guess, complaint. But anyways, the next one I want to talk about is that the game played really slow, or really similar to Rainbow Six Siege, because as I imagine all of you guys know, Rainbow Six Siege is quite a slow game, which I don't think I need to explain. But people were saying that what we saw with Modern Warfare was really slow and really tactical, more like, I guess, like I said, Rainbow Six Siege compared to Call of Duty, because everyone knows Call of Duty in the past has always been a fast-paced, fast-action, first-person shooter, and that's what so many people like about it, including myself. So if this was something that I agreed with, I would share this concern, because I don't want Call of Duty to be a slow game. But the thing is, and why the reason I feel like this is a little bit unfair of a complaint to have, is because of three different reasons. One, this is like very early on in the game. These people have not really played the game all that much, so they don't know how to play it to the best of their abilities. And in fact, I would recommend, if you guys haven't, go check out TP's stream or his gameplay when he was playing the game, and compare that with everyone else. He was actually moving around the map fast. He was sliding. He was doing all these cool things. I mean, sliding is still in the game. One of my favorite features Call of Duty has actually added into their game. Sliding, I mean, he actually used it really well, and he played it a lot faster compared to anybody else. So if you guys haven't actually seen his gameplay, then I would recommend doing that, because I think you'd be able to see that the game really isn't as slow as the other three players made it out to look like. But even on top of that, another reason why I feel like it's not fair to say that this game is slow is because the mode they were playing, I mean, they were playing a mode where you have one life and you do not have any self-regens. I mean, of course, let's just think about this. Think how fast you're going to play in Search and Destroy, and then compare that to TDM. Like, you're not going to play at the same speed. Everyone plays slower in one life around game modes. That's just kind of how it goes. So, I mean, if you were playing in that situation, would you just run out there and get yourself killed every time? And on top of that, you can't just run and peek all the time like you would in all the other ones, even in Search and Destroy, because of the fact that if you get shot, you're not going to health regen. So, it's kind of a bad idea to get spotted first. So, of course, you're going to play this mode slower. So, I don't really get why people don't understand that about this mode, because it is just a slower mode. Just because this mode is slower doesn't mean that all of Modern Warfare is going to be slow just because they played a slow mode. And even though that, I mean, just think about how fast these rounds would have gone if they were just running out their guns blazing, and they would just die immediately. Any team who ran out there first would be dead every single time. I mean, I just don't get it that people don't understand that they were playing slow mode, so of course the gameplay is going to look slower. And on top of that, I just don't think many people were watching TP's live stream because he was playing the game a lot faster compared to everybody else. So if you guys still think the game is slow, then I would take into consideration the mode they were playing and just what was going on, and then on top of that, just check out TP's stream if you haven't. But finally, I want to talk about this last complaint, and this is one that I don't think is unwarranted, believe it or not. I mean, yeah, throughout this video, you guys may have thought that I'm just trying to defend Modern Warfare to every extent, but I actually can understand this one, and I do agree to an extent, or I'm cautious about this. I don't think it's like, it's not something I want to purely hate, but I am cautious about this. But what it is the movement inside Modern Warfare, because a lot of people were saying the movement has a bunch of, extra animations. Everything's just kind of like how Battlefield does its animations. Like, for everything you do, the gun's shaking, you're walking, the gun's like flying left and right through your screen. I know that's an exaggeration, but still, it moves a lot more compared to a normal Call of Duty game. Like, everything's just, it's not clunky because they designed it that way. So you can't really say it's clunky, even though people will tell you that, but it's a design choice. But it's just that it kind of, maybe you could call it an intentional clunkiness that they decide to go with, because this is kind of how, I guess, Battlefield and all those other games, and I don't know if it's actually clunky or if that's just things that they added in to make it, look more like that. And I kind of get this one because I want my Call of Duty game to play smooth and not be all like, how Battlefield is, where everything's shaking for every single movement I possibly do. I take 2 steps, all my gun's flying left and right and all that stuff. Like, I understand all that, and I'm also cautious about this thing, and I just don't know if it's actually going to be like that, because I haven't actually played the game, neither has most people, so we don't know how it actually feels to play this game, or if this is just something they add in for extra animation. So, I don't know how this actually feels, and that's why I'm cautious about this, because the movement just seems like so much like how Battlefield normally does its movement, where there's animation for any little thing that happens, which is something a lot of Call of Duty players aren't exactly the biggest fan of, because, I mean, you just don't like so many things shaking, because it's supposed to be kind of like an arcade shooter. So, that's something that I agree that we should head in with caution, because that is something that's looked a little concerning, especially for Call of Duty, because just something that we, never really asked for inside Call of Duty. So it is something to be cautious about, and I agree with people on this one that it's something we should keep an eye on for now. But those are really the 3 concerns that I've been hearing with Modern Warfare. Like I said, I think most of them are unwarranted, or just, kind of exaggerate or something like that, but there is still a couple, like recoil and the movement. I understand those ones also concern me also, but of course I'm going to wait to see more. And honestly, if they are like they are, I don't think it's going to kill the game or anything like it. It may be something that I find to be regrettable, but we'll just see how it all turns out. But anyways, that's about it for me. Tell me what you guys think about this. Do you guys agree with what I say? Do you guys disagree with what I said? Do you think some of the concerns I said are invalid or actually valid? Of course, tell me all the reasons why you think that's the case down in the comments. But anyways, that's about it for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead, do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and especially bell. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever it may be. But laters, guys.